So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our prospect rebuild series. And today it's Matas Buzelis to the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls have been a franchise that has been in turmoil for quite some time. This is a team that's never really been bad enough to be in serious contention for a really good draft pick, but they've also never really been good enough to actually be a serious contender. So they find themselves in the middle of the pack, which is obviously the worst place to be. This offseason, they used the number 11 overall pick to select Matas Buzelis, which I think is a really, really good start to their rebuild. So we're going to talk about him and how I kind of think he fits with this team. My plans for this 5-year rebuild today. It has been a very, very turbulent offseason for the Bulls. Obviously ended up moving on from Alex Caruso. They lost DeMar DeRozan. Andre Drummond signed with the Sixers. This is a team that really needs to just fully commit to the tank and hopefully rebuild from there. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I want to let you guys know, because many people have been asking, my plans for the post-draft prospect rebuilds. How long are they going to go on? My plan as of now and as of today are just to go through the lottery, right? I could go further. People really want me to go further. I probably will, just because we're in a period right now, of the NBA, of the 2K cycle, if you will. That's really just downtime. We're just kind of filling space and hopefully going to make some more entertaining videos up until 2K25 comes out at the beginning of September. So that's my plan as of now. Let me know anything else you guys want to see down below in the comment section. And let's get into this one today. All right, we are here now in off-season number 1. Of course, the majority of the off-season is obviously over. We are certainly still able to make some trades, and we definitely may do so. The Bulls have had a very interesting off-season. Of course, the trade to the Oklahoma City Thunder of Alex Caruso, a 1-for-1 player swap with Mr. Josh Giddey. DeMar DeRozan was sent over to the Sacramento Kings. Andre Drummond ended up signing with the Sixers. So that's 3 big names right there. That's your best defensive player. That was your best player, and that was probably your best rebounder. All now on new teams. Fully not there yet, but they have definitely taken the right steps. So let's see what we are currently left with on this roster. Here at the point guard spot, you got Kobe White. I absolutely love the contract. Now, I know he doesn't develop a lot, and when I say develop, I mean he doesn't go up and overall a ton, and that's certainly something I will keep my eye on, but as of now, he is going to be my starting point guard. Obviously, Lonzo Ball, it's really sad to think of kind of what's happened to Lonzo, because when healthy, he's such a fun player to watch. Obviously, such a dynamic passer. He's really good on the glass as well for a point guard, and he's just somebody I really wish all the best to, man. I love watching him play, and I really hope he is able to bounce back and be, a healthy NBA player again. Ayo Dosunmu is here. The Chicago native is on a 2-year, roughly $14.5 million contract. He's 24 years old, a 77 overall. Can definitely be a nice rotation piece for us. Probably not going to be a star at any point. All right, Javon Carter, kind of the 4th guy in line right now, if you will. Of course, with us playing with injuries off, Lonzo is technically going to be healthy the entire time. Andrew Funk. I'm not sure who this is. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and pretend that I do. All right, Zach LaVine. Certainly have been a name that has been, thrown in some trade rumors this offseason. Apparently the Bulls have been very interested in dealing him away and kind of just moving on from another, kind of star in their franchise, if you will. Zach LaVine was injured last season. And he's somebody who is certainly on a very, very large contract. And I understand why teams are hesitant to take on that kind of money for a guy who's, pushing 30, obviously has some injury history. So I don't know if they're going to be able to move him here today in 2K. Obviously not realistic. We're going to be able to relatively easily if we do end up wanting to do so. Mr. Josh Giddey, 21 years old, obviously had a little bit of an up and down tenure with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Was kind of just the odd man out, unfortunately, as soon as the Thunder started being like a really good and competitive team in a very, very stacked Western Conference. So it's unfortunate, I think, him being in Chicago and kind of having a lower expectation threshold, if you will definitely be a good thing for him, because I still do think he can be a good player. You got Chris Duarte, who they brought in this offseason. Not really sure what we'll do with him here and then. But team, I've heard the name before. Not really sure what my plans are with him as a player today at a 68 overall. All right, Matas Buzelis. Very excited to see what he can do here. He is obviously going to kind of fully take over that small forward spot now, especially with DeMar DeRozan being gone, 19 years of age, obviously very, very young, and these international prospects tend to take a little bit of time. But when it is like this, and this is a team that is hopefully committing to the tank, I think is going to be very, very worth it today. So my goal is to obviously maximize his potential, hopefully turn him into a star and a guy that can help lead this team to a championship by the time this video ends. You got Dalen Terry, definitely can be a rotation piece for me, and then Julian Phillips as well. The power forward spot, they brought back Patrick Williams on a roughly 5-year, $90 million contract. Certainly a hefty price to pay. Patrick Williams is obviously very, very solid defensively. Hasn't given them a lot offensively in terms of his upside. I'm not really sure how much better it's going to get. Still think there's a step or two he can take, of course, only 23 years old. So we'll see. And Torrey Craig here as well. Then the center spot, Nikola Vucevic, another name that I'm assuming they've been looking around at maybe some options for in terms of a trade, whatever it may be. Obviously, I've not found one yet, and kind of it's obviously not similar money, but similar to Levine, 30 plus years old. Well, Levine's 29, but you get my point. And making multiple year guaranteed 20 plus million. So a little bit of what you got to consider. And then they brought in Jalen Smith. I actually like this signing quite a bit. So that is where things stand. This is obviously not a team that we can just make one or two small moves and immediately go contend for a championship. I think it is better to strip this thing down for parts and then build it back up. I don't think this is a deal that the Golden State Warriors would even consider, nor do I think it's necessarily even a realistic option. Not that I'm trying to be realistic, just wanted to put that out there. But it's the deal I'm going to land on, right? There are definitely some better offers out there for better players than Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green, but this is going to be the trade that I think is going to benefit us because not only are we getting two players in this deal who are going to be rotation pieces, we're getting two multi-year contracts. And again, I'm fully aware Levine is on a multi-year deal, but here's a contract and here is two players that I think can be valuable assets for us down the line. So I would like to try to get a draft pick in this deal. I'm not really sure if that's going to be possible. It doesn't really look like I'm not doing all these swaps. No, that's just not going to happen. How about a first and 28? Is that possible? They want our first. I hate the swaps. It's such a freaking pain in the ass. How about 28? And I'll give you a couple second round picks. Shake hands, call it a day, maybe. Okay, beautiful. All right, we now have made our first big move of the offseason. Moving on from Zach LaVine. He is now a Golden State Warrior, and we have a couple more trades to go. It is officially the end of the Lonzo Ball era in Chicago. We are sending him to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Jalen Tyson and Max Strus. This is a deal that is going to get us a young player, a player who is 20 years old, has yet to play in the NBA in Jalen Tyson, and then a guy in Max Strus who unfortunately probably really won't play. Likely going to be our third small forward option, but he's really in here to make the money work. Lonzo Ball is an expiring contract at 26 years old, and while I do think Kobe White's going to be a solid option at the point guard spot for us, I also do want to get Ayo some minutes behind him. So Lonzo wasn't expiring. Maybe there's an argument to hang on to him, but again, I am certainly going to take the young player here in Jalen Tyson. Our final trade is going to be a small one, not necessarily a consequential one, but two veterans here. Well, one veteran. Torrey Craig and Batum are going to go to Oklahoma City for a 2027 first-round pick from the Lakers and a trade exception. That is going to be our final move of offseason number one. Let's set the rotation. Rotation is finalized and we are ready to kick off our first season. Of course, we decided to go ahead and move on from a few other big names that are on this team, and I think they're really going to be moves that are going to benefit us. Now, something to keep an eye on. Our first round pick is currently owned by the San Antonio Spurs. It is top 10 protected, but it is certainly something we want to make sure we're somewhat able to compete for. So, Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. I considered many different Nikola Vucevic trades, but ultimately with him still having another year after this, I decided to hang on, wait one more time around. Wiggins will be my sixth man off the bench. You got Draymond Green in here, Jalen Smith, Jalen Tyson, and then Ayo Dosunmu. Certainly not the worst bench unit in the world, and definitely not the worst team in the world, right? This may not be, a bottom 10 team in the league. We're just going to have to keep our eye on it. I will see you guys at the end of year number one. Before we started simming this first regular season, there was a little thought in the back of my head. I said, hey, I'm really hoping that I did enough to make sure this team was bad, right? I don't want to sneak into the play-in, be where the Chicago Bulls have been for years. That was not the case. We won 20 games, which is, of course, probably the best outcome we could have had here in year one. And it's obviously going to mean we're going to get our draft pick, which was my goal throughout the entirety of this thing. And I'm very happy we're now in this position. Luka Doncic, first career MVP. Not quite a triple-double, but 34 points a game, about 9.5 rebounds, 12.5 assists. Very, very good numbers for him. You can ignore that. Russell Westbrook, Victor Wembanyama, our friend Josh Giddey. About 21.5 points, 7.5 boards, 5.5 assists. Shooting splits are pretty damn good as well. All right. That's all he needed, just a new opportunity. Donovan Mitchell, clutch player of the year, and then Kenny Atkinson, head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, is your coach of the year. All right, we are not in the playoffs with 20 wins. We're actually the worst team in basketball, which is fine. I'm more than happy to be in the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit. How did Buzelis play? Giddey did lead us in scoring. Vucevic, White. Buzelis was about 12.5 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 41% from the field. You don't necessarily love that. He was about 35% from 3. That's not bad for a rookie whatsoever. Williams, Wiggins, Smith, Green, Dosunmu, and then Tyson. Rebounds per game, we were led by Vucevic, and assists was Kobe White. So, obviously, you never love being the worst team in the league, no matter what the circumstances are, but I am happy, we have finally hit the bottom of the barrel, and hopefully it is time to now start this 5-year rebuild and hopefully go ahead and compete. Cavaliers get it done. Evan Mobley is your finals MVP. All right, it is time for our first full offseason here in in Chicago, and we are hopefully going to make the most out of it, right? I mean, obviously, we can be a little bit more patient with the 5-year rebuilds, but still got to strike while the iron's hot. I don't know why it says the Kings have our pick. that's not the case. I'm just going to make sure I have my draft pick. I know the protections on it. And we fall to 5 anyways, which is less than ideal. And then we also have the Portland Trailblazers pick at number 10. I want to make sure I'm actually supposed to have that. Is it time to end the Billy Donovan era? I think it is. I think I'm moving on. This feels like a great Stauffer video. Hopefully I can get him. Just want to make sure. If not, I will also offer Mr. Joe a contract here. And then finally, got like Mark Daigneault, who I think is a really solid NBA head coach. So hopefully we get one of them. All right, so Stauffer and Missoula we get. I'm going Joe. I think the Bulls could use a little Missoula ball. I get Stauffer quite a bit. I love Joe. Obviously won a championship with my Boston Celtics. Let's head up to the draft. As of now, we have the 5th overall pick along with the number 10 overall selection. Let me just make sure we're supposed to have that Trailblazers pick. I don't want to take away the pick if I'm not actually supposed to have it. To nobody's surprise, I was not actually supposed to have that Portland Trailblazers pick. Something I'm really hoping 2K is able to work on in, future years. Probably not going to happen. Feels like a pipe dream. The protections on draft picks, right? If I send out one of my draft picks and it's top 10 protected, right, and it doesn't convey, that doesn't automatically mean I give up an unprotected first the next year. Just for an example, the 2025 Portland Trailblazers pick that is owned by the Chicago Bulls is protected for selections 1 through 14 in 25, 1 through 14 in 26, 1 through 14 in 27, and 1 through 14 in 28. If that doesn't happen, it's a second round pick in 2029. Right? And that's more realistic than just saying it's going to be unprotected the year after if it does not end up conveying. I wish 2K would just figure that out a little bit. It's not very hard. It's something that's pretty simple. I don't want to go on a whole rant and tangent, but at some point it gets annoying having to move all the picks back just because 2K is too goddamn stupid to figure it out themselves. All right, I have made a decision. It has been a while since I have drafted him in one of these rebuilds. I know how good he is. I know he's likely going number 1 overall. I want Cooper Flagg. I think he's going to be a really good fit with this team. I think the Bulls would actually be really, really smart to try to tank for Cooper Flagg, right? Big market, looking for a face of their franchise. Obviously, a position of need, well, potentially. I think he'd be a really good fit with this team. So I am going to do some work here. Who is the number 1 overall pick? It is the Magic. Somehow they were bad enough to be in the lottery. That is very, very interesting. All right, let's just see what it's going to take. Obviously, we have a few guys under contract. Not really sure what the Magic's kind of cap situation is looking like, but I'd be willing to include some names like a Max Strus if you were interested in him. Could also maybe throw in, I don't want to do Wiggins yet. Don't want to do Tyson. If you want Julian Phillips, and then I would be maybe willing to part with a first in 2029. We'll be good by this point. Any other players? I could maybe throw in Smith. That wouldn't be the end of the world. I could also consider Tyson. Well, I'm torn. I'm going to probably be willing to give up Tyson. Wow, really? Oh my God. Well, this may end up being an egregious overpay, but I want Cooper Flagg. It's been my plan the entire time. And, we were very much in the mix to land Cooper Flagg. And then, of course, we got very unlucky in the lottery. But excited to have him here. He's going to take over as my starting power forward. And we will bring back Dalen Terry. Probably going to end up being moved. Duarte, not a chance in hell at $11 million. Josh Giddey had a really good season for us, so we will offer him that qualifying offer. So it's not a crazy good free agency class. Meaning got Kyrie and Jimmy Butler here. We're not really, cap flexible right now, so I am just going to go ahead, pay Josh Giddey a whole lot of money for right now. That is certainly a hefty price to pay, but I guess maybe we think that he earned it after that one season, and now it is time to make a few more deals. Okay, we just landed ourselves Nick Claxton in a big blockbuster trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Here's a look at that deal. It was Vucevic, Terry, and then 2 unprotected first-round picks, which I know certainly a hefty price to pay, but we got a young, really solid defensive center here in Claxton, obviously more of a long-term fit than 34-year-old Nikola Vucevic. So very excited about that. It's going to be him and Jalen Smith as my 2 centers. I am going to move on from Draymond Green now. He was basically a 1-year rental for us, if you will, because Flagg's going to take over the power forward spot. Williams will still end up coming off the bench. I'm figuring out what I want to do with Wiggins. There's definitely an argument to maybe move on from him. I did not mean to do that. I have to kind of consider all different options right now moving forward. I do have to figure out who's going to be my backup shooting guard. Of course, got rid of Jalen Tyson, even though I didn't want to. So I could hang on to Wiggins. He's certainly not somebody I have to move, but I will look at certain trades. I also could just reload on draft picks, right? Certainly another possibility. So not really loving any of those. He has a player option that in all likelihood he will end up accepting. I also got to consider what I want to do with Io, him and Kobe White both expiring, but Draymond Green's going to be my first and probably first priority. I can't fucking speak. My first priority. Bogdanovich, 1-year contract. Ideally, I'd like to get a little younger, maybe at the backup shooting guard spot. I'm not really seeing many offers. I'm not giving up a first-round pick for Johnny Davis. I could just do a 1-for-1 swap for KCP, but he's also expiring. Doesn't really excite me too much. How about if I do Io as well? I don't really want to do this. Ooh. No. All right, shit. This is a bit of a pinch that we have now found ourselves in. Oh, boy. Malachi Branham's here. All these guys are just expiring, though, man. I'm not giving up draft picks. There's no way I'm in a place to give up draft picks right now. So, you know what? We'll do the one-for-one swap for KCP. We know we're going to see some regression out of him. It's not the end of the world. All right, we're just going to run this thing. I know we're going to have some expiring contracts, but it's certainly something we can figure out next offseason. We have improved, not maybe to the point where we're going to be a real competitive team, but good foundation. I'm not really sure what to think about this team heading into year 2. We've certainly made some improvements that are going to help us 2-3 years down the line. We're not necessarily going to be a super competitive team here in year 2. At least that's my opinion. Our first round draft pick is once again protected only for selections 1 through 8 this year. Are we a bottom 8 team in the league? I guess we'll find out, but I don't really know if we are. It is Coby White, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, Cooper Flagg, Nick Claxton as your 1 through 5. Bench unit is Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith, Io DeSumo, Andrew Wiggins, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So I like it. I think we're in a good spot right now, and I don't know. The worst outcome, I guess, would be like the 9th worst team in the league, because obviously we would never draft pick then. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. Back-to-back MVPs for Mr. Luka Doncic, but more importantly, this team was competitive. We won 45 games. Way more than I thought we were going to win. Obviously, 45 wins does not mean we are a bottom 8 team here in the East, so we will not have our draft pick this year, which is fine. Insane numbers from Luka. Cooper Flagg, baby. Our boy. Rookie of the year. Pretty nice season out of him. De'Aaron Fox is now in Oklahoma City. Oh, good. Just give the Thunder another star. Awesome. Wemby, your D-Boy. Jaden Hardy, most improved. Luka also wins clutch player. And Nick Nurse, now your coach of the year for the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, it is time for the standings. We are a 6 seed here. We're going to be battling with the Indiana Pacers in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And the Portland Trailblazers at 55 wins. This is a 55-win team. Okay. Let's go over some numbers real quick. We saw Cooper Flagg's stats throughout the year. Josh Giddey was and has been absolutely fantastic, playing like he's very much worth the money. The $166 million we gave him was really solid all across the board. Cooper Flagg, Coby White, Buzelis, Smith, Williams, Claxton, DeSumo, Wiggins, and then KCP. Rebounds we were led by Claxton, and assists was Giddey. So we are in the playoffs, maybe a little bit earlier than we were initially anticipating. We have a very good Indiana team. Our old friend Lonzo Ball is now here. We traded him away to the Cavaliers, actually, in our first offseason, if you remember that, but now has a home in Indiana. Let's just see how this goes. I think we're probably going to lose, and that's fine, but this is going to be good experience for our guys, and you never really know. So we are down 3-1 right now. We do end up losing in 5. Disappointing, but not surprising. So sending through the rest of the playoffs right now, it is a Thunder and a 76ers finals, and the Thunder win it all, and oh my God, those are certainly some finals MVP numbers right there. Okay, it is time for offseason number 3. Technically, LeBron James now calling it a career at age 41. Enjoy retirement. You certainly deserve it. Also entering the Hall of Fame. Big surprise. And, oh, wow, we traded Draymond at the right time. I didn't realize that he retired as well. Okay, have I traded for any picks that are in the lottery? It does not appear so, as I do not see any Bulls logos. It is the Rockets. Thunder have the 2nd overall pick after winning a championship. That's good. We're very happy with Coach Joe. Mazzulla Ball is certainly off and firing here in Chicago. So let's see. What do we have? We have the 28th overall pick from the Trailblazers. All right, we should have that, though. That's actually correct now. I am going to go ahead and use that pick. I probably should have traded it away last offseason. It was a little bit more valuable, but obviously I did not. Patrick Mbogo is here. I'll take him because we maybe are in the market for a new backup center. I don't really know. 7 foot tall out of Duke, 71 overall. Wiggins, it picks up his option. We're obviously bringing back Buzelis. And then let's just see what we can do. Clearly, we're not going to have a lot of flexibility in terms of spending power this offseason. I would definitely like to get Coby White back. Actually going to give him about 25 annually, just in case down the line we maybe want to match it up with some bigger contracts. We'll do the same thing to Io DeSumo, and that's just going to be about it from the standpoint that we're at right now. So I think it is going to be maybe one trade. Not sure if it's going to be a blockbuster, though, or anything like that. A deal here with the Sacramento Kings is going to land us Malik Monk. Obviously, last offseason, we brought in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to be our backup shooting guard for one season. This deal is going to land us not only a really solid backup shooting guard option, but a really elite sixth-man option for us. So, on top of that, we are acquiring a draft pick. I know it sucks to give up Mbogo, who we just did draft at the end of the first round, but Jalen Smith is still under contract. It's fine by me. So welcome to the team, Malik Monk. Feels like a really good deal for us, especially considering he has multiple years. Now the only thing we got to do is just find ourselves a new backup small forward. I like Simone Fontecchio. Ooh, Christian Brown's here. I'll actually definitely take a flyer on him. Still only 25 years old. I like that a lot. All right, we are going to hopefully continue to build upon the 45-win campaign we just had, and I will see you guys at the start of year 3. I have a feeling this team may actually be ready to compete for the top of the Eastern Conference. Now, I know on paper there's certainly not any sort of superstar here, even if Cooper Flagg will be one maybe this season, next season, whatever it's going to be, just in terms of the overalls, right? Our highest overall is our 86 overall center in Nick Claxton, and I'm not saying he's not a good player, he's just not quite a superstar. So, here's how it's going to look. We are a very well-rounded team. It is Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, Cooper Flagg, and Nick Claxton as your 1 through 5. Malik Monk, obviously excited to bring him in, really solid 6-man option for us here. Still got Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Jalen Smith, and then Christian Brown as our 10th and final guy. So that is the squad we're running with. I think this is a team that is certainly going to be in the mix again and hopefully ready to dominate the Eastern Conference. I'll see you guys at the end of the 3rd season here in Chicago. I had a good feeling. That good feeling ended up being correct. We won 62 games. We are probably the 1 seed here in the East, and I am very, very happy. Victor Wembanyama has officially arrived, age 23. There are the numbers. He's your MVP. Oh, goody. Cameron Boozer is a Thunder. To John Solon, your 6th man of the year. Wemby a depoy again. Solon also wins most improved. Jokic, clutch player of the year. And ISO Joe. I know he's not actually ISO Joe. And it's actually kind of funny calling him ISO Joe considering how his offense is actually run. Mr. Joe Mazzulla, your coach of the year. All right, let's go over it. We are the 1 seed at 62 wins. It is the best record in basketball. Hopefully that means we are ready to, actually compete. Cooper Flagg is officially broken out. That's funny considering his rookie numbers, but you understand what I'm saying. He's fantastic. Good to see the 3-point percentage going up as well. Wow, a very, very big jump considering where he was his rookie season. Josh Giddey continues to be absolutely fantastic for us. Buzelis, White, Monk, Claxton, Williams, Dosunmu, Smith, and Brown. Rebounds per game were led by Claxton, and assists was Giddey. So we are facing a play-in team now. Of course, we've yet to win a playoff series, so hopefully this is the time. It is Quickly, Edgecombe, Barrett, Barnes, Rudy Gobert now in Toronto. Okay. Not the easiest first-round matchup. Certainly not the hardest either. I think we are the better team here, and hopefully we can get this done. And now we move on to the Celtics, who are definitely not the easiest second-round matchup. Drew Holiday, Derek White, JB, JT, Tingus, Pingus, added Lou Dort, Karis LeVert, Noah Clowney. Okay. Interesting. I think the Celtics are better than us, but I'm certainly going to be okay if we are somehow going to beat them. We're 2-2 right now, go up 3-2, and we closed them out in 6. And it is now a rematch of last year's first-round matchup against the Indiana Pacers, and the winner will go on and take on the winner of the Trailblazers and the Rockets in the NBA Finals. We split the first 2 at home, win Game 3 on the road, lose Game 4, lose Game 5, losing 6. All right, disappointing ending. Now Halliburton's in Houston. Okay. Not Halliburton, excuse me. De'Aaron Fox is in Houston. I saw Halliburton and I got confused. A Pacers and a Rockets finals sees the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, win it all. All right. It would have been nice to, go to the finals, win a championship as the number 1, seed in the league. But certainly for a 3rd season, not disappointing. So 2 seasons to go and obviously some decisions to make. Popovich, wow, going out. KD and Harden enter the Hall of Fame. Also get their jerseys retired. I don't think... Oh, Sacramento pick. Do we actually have that? We do. It's at number 6. Okay, did I trade for that? I think I might have. I think I traded for that pick. Because off the top of my head, logic would maybe say that pick came from the DeMar trade, but I don't think the Bulls got a first in the DeMar. No, they did not get a first. Let me double check and just make sure we're actually supposed to have it or I traded for it. Just give me a second. Fanspo is telling me that the Sacramento Kings currently own their 2027 first round pick outright, right? There's no swaps, there's no protections. Kings just own it. I'm trying to think, did I get this pick in the Malik Monk trade? I think this is the one that I did get in that deal. That would make logical sense to me, right? I think that's what ended up happening. I'm going to assume it is, right? Unless there's some mistake, and if there is, I apologize, but I believe this is the draft pick from the Malik Monk trade. All right, I have a couple of different things to consider right now. Do I need to make an upgrade on this team, and do I want to use said pick to make the upgrade? I am not sold 100% either way. I know I just cut the video, but I'm going to do so one more time so I can solidify my decision. We're going to attempt to trade for Darius Garland here from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I know Darius Garland may be a little overrated according to 2K, because sometimes they think he's like a 92 overall finals MVP, which is just certainly not the case. He's a very good point guard. He's an 89 overall right now, and he's been playing very, very well here. I think he could be the final upgrade that makes this team truly a championship contender. Now, here's what I'm offering. It's Kobe White, who's been a very solid player for us, pretty consistent overall with his numbers, but we need an upgrade. Christian Braun was definitely a nice rotation piece. Unfortunately, he's playing 10 minutes a night. Not the end of the world if I lose him. And then the 6th overall pick might be considered an overpay from 2K, but I'm not worried about it. I can almost always tell when the trade's going to go through. So super excited to have Garland here. Obviously, no longer have the 6th overall pick. Flagg and Buzelis are both going to be brought back here. Qualifying, we have none. And now it's just about figuring out what we want to do with this bench unit, right? I think Jalen Smith. I'd like to retain him about $9 million annually. That's completely cool with me. So he is going to remain our backup center probably for the rest of this video. And then I think we just need to find ourselves a new backup small forward. And that's pretty much it at this point. Guy like Cam Johnson, although 31 years old, would certainly be a nice replacement here for Christian Braun. All right, welcome to the team. All set. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 4. As we have finalized the rotation here for year 4, we have one thing on our mind, and that is to win a championship here with this team. We are clearly good enough. Last season, we won, 62 games with a 1 seed. Made it all the way to the East Finals, and then came up just a little short. This offseason, made a few moves, upgraded the team. I think we're ready to go. It is Darius Garland, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, who, by the way, not moving as much as I was hoping he would in the overall department. I mean, certainly the numbers are fine for what we kind of have him filled in from a role perspective, but would hope he'd a little bit better. Cooper Flagg has just emerged as a flat-out superstar. Nick Claxton, bench unit, Malik Monk, Patrick Williams, still strong as our 6th and 7th man. Newly acquired Cameron Johnson. You got Ayo Dosunmu and then Jalen Smith. So, team's as good as ever. I think we are very much ready to win. I will see you guys at the end of year 4. I believe this is the 3rd MVP of this video for Luka. This season we finished with a record of 59 and 23. Although it is not as good as last season, which may be a surprise to some of you, I somehow do feel better about the team this year. Tyron Stokes is a Clipper. He's your Rookie of the Year. Lonzo wins 6th man, an old friend in Indiana. Chet Holmgren is now your depoy. Geraldine Harrelson. Cade Cunningham, Clutch Player of the Year. And so, my God, 68 wins in Indiana. Oh, boy. We're the 2 seed, which, certainly fine by me. I think the Pacers are very, very good, and we're going to have some work to do if we want to end up beating them. Cooper Flagg's fantastic. Darius Garland emerging as our number 2 option. Josh Giddey, Buzelis, Monk, Johnson, Williams, Claxton, Smith, and Dosunmu. Rebounds, we were led by Clax, and assists was Garland. So, facing a play-in team once again. That play-in team will once again be the Toronto Raptors, and I'm pretty confident in our abilities to just beat this 2K. Thank you. We win. Oh my God, the Pacers lost in 7 in round 1. We have got to take advantage of this opportunity. Steph Curry is somehow an Atlanta Hawk. You got Ace Bailey here, Reza Shea, Aaron Nesmith, Wiseman, Dyson Daniels off the bench. That is a very talented group there in Atlanta. They do win game 1. We win the next 2. Next 3, and we close them out in a gentleman's sweep. All right, 8 seed Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard's down to an 83 overall. Still playing pretty well, but he's 37. A.J. Johnson, Michael Porter Jr. now here in Milwaukee. Still got Giannis, Duran Sharp, Bobby Portis, Miles Bridges. Good God. A lot of depth there. They have the best player in the series. No doubt that is still Giannis. We're a better team, though. We end up sweeping them. We are now taking on Azar Thompson in the Golden State Warriors. Interesting. I think we can beat this. I got a little too cocky. Really? 8.7% from 3, you should be in jail. That's insane. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that might have been the second worst team we faced that entire playoff run. But we do not get it done. And I, again, got way too ahead of myself and way too confident. And that was obviously not the play. As we approach our final offseason, we have some decisions to make with this team. Certainly there's an argument to, go about this a couple different ways. We can run this thing back, just assume that we are good enough. But I'm going to consider all my options carefully because I want to be smart with this. I will actually draft somebody at number 30, not necessarily sure who of that player is going to be. I don't really know who Henry Robinson is, but he appears to be the highest overall. Point guard. I thought it said center. I was like 6 foot tall center. He's a 72 overall. Team player options, obviously bringing back Mr. Flagg. Buzelis is going to be a restricted free agent. Jokic is here. I wish I had this kind of money. I have $45 million, but I also have 85 free agents. So let's just get our guys back. Why? Are you fucking kidding me? Nick Claxton, why? This game is so dumb. How many videos in a row do I have to see this where somebody's morale is down? What are you irritated about? You're playing 33 minutes a night on one of the best teams in the league. You were just in the finals. Why are you irritated? And why couldn't you do this last offseason so I could have traded your dumb ass? This game is so stupid with that logic. It really is. All right, let's just make do with what we got, I guess, right? We're going to obviously have to figure some things out because we clearly are going to end up losing Claxton for now. It's just so... Actually, you know what I might be able to do? I think this actually works. Let me just make sure. Claxton. Okay. It's so dumb. It is literally so dumb that I have to do all that, right? Why? Why should I have to do all that? Why can't he just re-sign with me? Why does the morale have to be in the toilet? The morale, by the way, will not be in the toilet at the start of year number 5. I promise you that. He'll be back up to an 86, 87. Just really, really stupid. All right, we have one more decision to make if we want to make one more upgrade. Okay, blockbuster with the Portland Trailblazers, and we just landed ourselves one Shaedon Sharpe, 25 years old, definitely a little bit of a better player than Giddey. And there was nothing wrong with Josh Giddey, but we just needed to make an upgrade somewhere. And I felt that obviously Buzelis is not going to be the guy. This is his video. It was between him or Mr. Claxton, and we just brought back Clax. So that's what we're doing. I think the bench is certainly good enough. We now have a lot of star talent. Cooper Flagg is going to take another step. I'll see you guys at the start of the 5th and final regular season. We have now moved into what I refer to as championship or bust territory. We have been very, very good for a few years now. We made a finals a few years back. We made a finals last year. Excuse me, I'm losing it. We made a finals last year. We made an Eastern Conference Finals the year before. We've had 2 60-plus win seasons. We've had 1 60-plus win season. I'm so fucking sleepy right now. It's insane. It's Garland, Sharpe, Buzelis, Flagg, Claxton, bench unit, Monk, Williams, Smith, DeSumo, Johnson. See you guys at the end of the 5th season. 4th MVP for Luka. It is do or die time here in Chicago. We go 63-19. I believe that is our best record yet, and we are hopefully, finally, going to win a championship. Isaac Hayes, Scoot Henderson, Chet Holmgren, Drake Powell, Luka Doncic, Joe Mazzulla. I don't really care at this point. It is time for a championship. It is legitimately the only thing I care about, and I need it. I desperately need it. Numbers, Cooper Flagg, Shaedon Sharpe, Darius Garland, 3 guys, basically 22-plus points a game. Buzelis, Monk, Smith, Williams, Claxton, DeSumo, and then Johnson. Rebounds, Flagg, assists, Garland. Okay, first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, us and the Pistons here. Cade Cunningham, Mikal Bridges, Trey Murphy, Jabari Walker, Wendell Carter. Who's that? Jesus Christ. Good God. I do not want to get ahead of myself. Sometimes I get a little too overconfident and a little too cocky, and I do not want that to be the case today. We're up 3-1 right now. Do not do this, 2K. Thank you. Now moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kobe White, old friend Donovan Mitchell, old friend Kobe White, Donovan Mitchell, Josh Hart, Mobley. Oh my God, this team's really, really good. All right, this is going to be a pain in the ass. I am hoping this is not... Okay, up 3-0. We sweep. Beautiful. Now moving on to the Toronto Raptors. I think we've beat them every single time. I'm going to be cocky for this one. Okay, there we go. And it is us and the team that I least wanted to see in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh boy, here goes nothing. Win game 1. Win game 2. Win game 3. Holy shit. Wow. All right, getting Cooper Flagg in this game is just a cheat code. Holy shit. I am happy that we actually got this one. I don't know why Matas Buzelis just doesn't really progress a lot, but it's fine. We got him a championship. Okay, my friends, that was it for the 5 years Bulls rebuild. This one was fun, certainly stressful. I apologize if I seem a little tired. I'm basically delirious at this point, but I'm happy we got this one together. I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.